After the Eastern Bloc barriers broke down in 1990, it opened up new opportunities for Europeans to showcase their talents to many leagues. This led to the idea of a global hockey league, a league that would consist of American, Canadian, and European teams and would hope to develop their own superstars. This idea would be intriguing and seemed like it could work, so what happened to the league that was supposed to help revolutionize the sport? February 10th, 1990, the day it was announced that two men were attempting to completely revolutionize the game. Toronto businessman Michael Gandhi and his partner Dennis Murphy announced that they planned to launch the first ever intercontinental league in sports history, and it will be known as the Global Hockey League. Both men were very optimistic and believed this league could take off. However, it would be way harder than expected. It was later announced that the league would begin with 11 total teams, but would eventually plan to have two 10-team divisions, the North American Division and the European Division. The North American Division would originally start with teams from Albany, Providence, LA, and Sacramento, while also featuring teams from Hamilton and Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It was also announced that the European Division would feature teams from France, Italy, Holland, Prague, and East Berlin. Murphy was confident that things were going to work out, as he openly stated, quote, "International sports are just developing. Timing is most important. There are new markets opening up."
Here tonight to draw the ceremonial puck is a special guest who played an integral role in bringing professional hockey to oil country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man who founded the WHA, Mr. Dennis Murphy.
The GHL wasn't the first league that Murphy was affiliated with, as he was the founder of the WHA, the league that would eventually merge with the NHL in 1979 after numerous financial issues occurred, causing teams to fold seemingly every year. Murphy would attempt to learn from his mistakes. He believed the GHL would take off and would become a major success, hopefully making up for the mistakes that occurred with the WHA. The Global Hockey League was trying to do more than invest in the European market. Like all leagues, their main focus was to display the players' skating and skill. They wanted to develop their own talent, but the GHL would make numerous changes to the way the game was played. Their plans featured eliminating the red line, moving the goals 3 feet further from the end boards, playing two 30-minute periods instead of three 20-minute periods, and would decide tied games with penalty shots. The GHL would also have a salary cap between $2.1 and $2.5 million, with the average contract only being around $115,000. Imagine being a generational talent and only getting paid $115,000 for your effort. The thought was insane. The draft was scheduled to take place on the first week of June. Teams would get to select pro players from Europe, graduating college seniors, and NHL players whose contracts were expiring. But both men made it clear that they weren't trying to butt heads with the NHL, stating, quote, "We will create our own stars. We won't be raiding the NHL to take their players." Like many leagues, the GHL began to experience many challenges throughout the organizational stage. Teams were already withdrawing from the league. After numerous disagreements between the two parties, the Albany franchise withdrew by May, and the GHL was struggling to solidify a team in Southern California. However, they did manage to add more US markets to the mix. To help dissolve the issues and confusion, the league decided to host a meeting in May where they announced the official franchise lineup. A Cleveland and Miami team would join the mix after failing to bring a team to LA, and Albany would change their identity and would host a team in Birmingham. Things seemed to be going smoothly until, get this, they decided to move the league kickoff date to start earlier than expected, now just making the whole process seem rushed. And I believe that this move was when everything went downhill. The division between the team owners and league directors grew even larger after many owners stated that the tight schedule was unrealistic. Gandhi even admitted, quote, "It's very difficult getting cities in place in time. It was beginning to get out of hand." And in June of 1990, Gandhi announced that the start of the GHL would be postponed until the following year. Unfortunately for both Murphy and Gabati, the extra year of planning never panned out, and the league would fold before even playing a single game. It is quite ironic considering Murphy mentioned that timing is important, and yet they kept rushing the process to get the league going sooner. But between the poor execution, the struggle to produce schedules due to time zone concerns, and teams folding prior to, the GHL would prove to be unsuccessful. Now, one can only imagine what this league could have been if it was organized correctly. This could have been a huge step for global hockey and global sports in general. However, there's always a lesson to be learned. In this case, Murphy was right. Timing is truly important, and time doesn't last forever. Patience is a virtue, and it clearly shows. Imagine if they didn't push the start date ahead, if they just waited the extra few months. Then the GHL could potentially be around to this day.